How's it going, everybody? My name is Triple DMC, and welcome back to the GeoChat podcast. Introduce yourself, lads.
Hello, my name is Darkswing. I'm co-host thingy, creator of the thing, but not the. Fuck it. Hi.
And I am Norcda Childa, content creator and guest on today's show.
So we've got Norcda here, in the studio today. Not really. We live at the other side of the world, but it's whatever.
Exactly.
And we're going to be talking about basically how Norcda is perceived by the community. You get me?
I get you.
All right. I mean, obviously you get me. We've talked about this loads, but um, so let me just kind of introduce this. So there are a couple of like kind of areas of the community. So you've got the creators where they're all about making the most detail and gameplay, and then there's people that do all the clickbait and all that, and then you've got people who make good content and stay out of the line of controversy and are just kind of nice to everyone. And then you've got loads of good players who sometimes and sometimes don't have a big ego, right? Which is kind of what we're going to talk about and where Norcda fits in to all that. So, just want to begin?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, I guess I'll ask you the first question. So, this is kind of an obvious one, but where do you think you play a role in the community, Norcda?
So, yeah, I mean, basically what you were saying, I feel like my role is kind of less of the player side, star grinding, creating, playing demons, like whatever, becoming a better player. I'm kind of more of the, like, I feel like I dabble in a little bit of everything, I guess. Like, I've built some levels, I've beaten some demons, but I've mainly been focusing lately on YouTube and the videos I make rather than my skill in the game, and that kind of comes in the form of my comedy, my skits, like all the types of videos like that are kind of entertaining, comedic, but still all based around the game. So I'm kind of taking the essence of the game and putting it onto YouTube and kind of putting my creative spin on it. So that's where I stand.
I have to admit, if you just made that up off the top of your head as an explanation, good job, man.
I mean, I don't know if I exactly made that up. Some of it, kind of came to me as I was speaking, but yeah, that's basically the gist of
It's good, man.
what it is. So.
So, like, what would you say, Dark Sweet, before we move on?
I mean, I mostly when it comes to content on YouTube, I don't usually watch GD stuff. Like it's mostly like I keep up with what's happening in the community, what levels are being beaten, and of course I'm subscribed to Golden because he's a good friend.
Hmm.
Uh,
I'm Triple
so
DMC,
I
obviously. Just
I
anyway.
think I think I am.
It's good.
So I haven't really watched Norcda's content, although I probably should, because I looked at his channel earlier and it looks pretty good.
Thank you, and I agree. You should take a look at my stuff.
Casual suck up, but let's move on. Right.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so let's kind of talk about how you feel your fan base perceives you and the kind of people who are your fan base.
Um. Yeah. So
Children, I'm sorry.
yeah. So well, actually, that's not too far from the truth. I feel like my fan base is a bit on the younger side, but then again, the whole Geometry Dash community is kind of on the younger side, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but I feel like so that's kind of my fan base. I'd say a bit of a younger audience. One because I've been doing all these like skits with different characters, and it's less, and it's like I guess it's more attracting to a younger audience. But as to how my fans perceive me, I feel like they're really understanding first and foremost, and they are not so like pressuring me to like make videos, make content. Like if I say, "Oh, I'm gonna take a break," or "Oh, I can't really put out videos," they like are like take as much time as you need, whatever. They're really understanding, but at the same time, they definitely offer their own thoughts, criticisms,
Of
and
course,
support
that's
as well. So it's like a really healthy mix, I think. I don't
yeah.
think I have too many like haters
Toxic.
per se,
Yeah.
and that's probably related to what we were talking about before, how like I say out of the line of fire or whatever, which I guess we'll get to later.
Yeah.
But
I've got to say a
yeah,
few
it's
things
kind of
about
like
that, but yeah.
people who people who want to watch my content gravitate towards me, and like they make a decision to stick with what I'm doing, and I really love like their commitment, their just undying support and understanding, and I'm hopefully gonna bring everyone some like cool new videos soon because I've kind of been on a like weird semi hiatus, even though I've still been uploading. But no, overall my fan base is it's like diverse in the form of response they give to me, which is good for support, which encourages me to continue, and criticism, which also encourages me to continue. But yeah,
It's
that's
great.
basically like the breakdown of my fan base. So.
So
Nice.
I would kind of categorize you in the sort of similar content as, like Juniper and Colon in terms of like you make,
Yeah,
your
yeah,
animations, not really animations,
exactly.
but
Yeah,
your skits and that, which
yes.
I think is really good because although Juniper has been in a bit of fire, because I mean I want to say something about this right now. I don't want to make this video about that because I could have made a whole video about that, but I don't want to because I don't want to give it any more attention. But um, she was getting a lot of unnecessary hate because people were making jokes about her, and as a 14-year-old girl, things like that would make people very uncomfortable. I mean, you've got hundreds of people just spamming you on Twitter about it. You can't expect somebody to act the right way. You get what I mean?
Yeah, I
I,
understand
this is a
exactly.
bit. I'm getting off topic here, but yeah. Besides that, the kind of that kind of area has managed to stay out of controversy, or at least kept themselves out of fair controversy, if you get what I mean. Um, and I think it's because you don't try and mix in with everything that's going on. You try and keep your own unique style, with it, and you try and like you don't talk about the events. You bring something new to the table, which, like we were talking about last episode, is going to be beneficial for keeping this game alive. You get me?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely agree, and I feel like definitely in the past like couple years at least, I really like stayed to myself. I haven't really done too many collabs, although I have done a couple and like reached out to people like Eric Van Wilderman, like Toxic, people in like my close circles, I guess. But
They're awesome, man. By the way.
yeah, but I feel like it's not even so much that I do my own thing. It's just kind of like I don't like I'm not the type of person who likes to like
Um, you there?
doing a like I'm running a good operation by myself, and
I'm sorry, you
I
just
don't
cut
know if
out there for 30
that's
seconds. I'm really sorry,
okay.
man. Could you just like start what
Um,
you're saying again? Just
all right,
from
so yeah,
yeah.
basically as I was saying, right, like just I kind of have done my own thing, but I still have featured people in some of my videos, but I feel like that like what I do, like running this whole operation by myself, sort of has worked out for me.
Yeah,
And I feel like I'm not exactly too dependent on other people or what other people have to say or like what they might want to do in my videos. But like I'm still like I feel like in the community I'm like very friendly to everyone, and like
exactly, and that's
I don't
good.
really like attack anyone or seek drama, and like so and most of that like I kind of do my own thing in terms of my videos, and then like on
That's
Twitter
good,
I'll
man.
like
Yeah,
respond to some like stuff or like leave some like funny comments or whatever, just to like
yeah,
you know like keep my not reputation but like presence sort of, and not in a negative way.
exactly, man.
um but that also, but yeah, then I do occasionally, reach out to some other people, and I'm friendly with a lot of people in the community. Just don't really create videos with them, if
Yeah,
that makes sense. So, like, I feel like a lot of people would consider me like, oh, I kind of know who Norcda is. Like, he seems like a cool guy, but like, I'm not necessarily making videos left and right with all the people who like I talk to, basically. But,
so yeah,
um,
I get what you mean. You can very much sustain your own channel,
yeah, yeah,
without other using other people. Like, all those people like that, and even some of the best creators. Like, you've got to think about how like well, particularly clickbaiters and people who tend to hop on trends and just milk things. Their channels wouldn't exist without those other people that they're milking off of. But
yeah,
even good channels like Seeing and whatever who make great content, without these events in the community, he wouldn't have anything to talk about. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, exactly. And I think that's another thing about like what I do is I'm not that topical in terms of my content. I kind of like certain aspects are like when a new update releases, I obviously cover it, make a few videos on it, like my opinions, whatever. I review some of the sneak peeks and stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
that's good.
but overall, what I do is kind of like evergreen, I guess. Like my skits are just like stories and ideas I have, and like even though new updates add new icons and new levels and new features of the game that I incorporate into my skits, like a lot of it is what's already out there that I can kind of creatively work into what I do. And in some ways it's even more fun to have an existing game that's been quite sedentary for the past year or so,
Yeah, man.
and kind of pull things from different parts of the game that might be a bit more obscure, like a bit
Yeah, and
like
not as
more
many people have
unnoticed
kind
rather
of.
than
Yeah,
yeah, sorry, well, but like not like I'm not trying to like if there's a new level, I make a skit like based on that level. If there's like new stuff in the creator, I like focus on that. It's like I feel like it's kind of more fun to not make content based on what's thrown at you, but kind of try to see what you've got and make a creative spin on like what you already have at your disposal. So
exactly, and work what you've got without relying on what's you twist what's there.
yeah,
I get you.
exactly.
So let's talk about other sections of the community. So you've got like people who, and the fans are very different of these different kind of people, because a lot of people who are beat extreme demons, they've quit often, like because they can't handle like the pressure of people being like, oh, go and beat this, go and beat that. Whereas with you, they're just like, because they don't know what to expect. Whereas like with Sunix or whatever, Sunix uploads a video 50% on Plasma Pulse Finale or whatever, say, I'm just using an example here, people are going to be like, right, beat this now, and people are going to keep at him until he beats it. Whereas with you, nobody knows what to expect because you create something you twisted that nobody is expecting, if that makes sense. So,
Yeah, and like I'd bring up like Novel Boy as another example. Like when he had 98 on Bloodlust, like every day there was like, when are you gonna beat Bloodlust? Oh, he's never gonna beat Bloodlust, and
yeah,
it's just
that's
like
so
this
annoying. Like,
constant like because because you like hit a milestone, or like because you fail, quote unquote, it's just like this like overhanging cloud of like doom until you actually get over the hump of what people are saying. And
yeah,
in my case, like I don't really feel like I've experienced that where people are constantly lobbying me to do something. Like
because they don't
sure,
know what you're going to do, so they don't know what to expect from you because your
well,
ideas are unique, you know?
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say they don't know what I'm gonna do,
Yeah, but
but I feel like it's more of like what'll he put out next, like whatever he's gonna do, like I'll check it out, like, and I'll leave my feedback, but I hope it's cool either way.
yeah,
The I think the difference with people who beat a lot of demons, beat a lot of extreme demons, like build a lot of levels, is they are putting out like a tangible thing that other people can like try as well, right? Like if
exactly.
like Novel Boy plays Bloodlust, like you can play Bloodlust as well. It's like out there for you to do.
They're
For
building
me, it's
hype
kind
from
of
it, whereas with
yeah. For
you,
me, it's kind of all on like my end, and my viewers are more of like the consumers of what I put out rather than like seeing Novel Boy as like a higher power in terms of like how well he plays or like what demons he may beat, and like and kind of compare themselves to him. For this, it's kind of like I make the video, people watch, people hopefully enjoy, and that's it. It's not like I need you to beat Bloodlust, like he's never
so
gonna
I can
beat it,
play it.
like
Yeah, and
so it's
Hold
more
it's
on
like
just a second.
yeah.
Hello, Icy Frog. Welcome to the podcast.
I
Do you want to join?
don't know if we'll be reading chat like just for the podcast because we kind
Yeah,
of want to
I
keep
just
things
have it to
rolling.
the side,
Yeah,
just
it's all
because
good,
why
man.
not?
Um, but
I think he left. God damn it.
it doesn't matter. So, um, this podcast will be up anyway for people to watch on YouTube.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
um, I think that whereas when people see levels being previewed, they know what to expect and the hype is built for it. Whereas Norcda, when you drop a video, it's like that's the whole thing in one. Do you know what I mean? So people
Yeah,
can't be like, make this video again, or like, say if someone uploads a progress video or a preview, they'll be like, people will be like, finish this video. like finish the full thing. Whereas if you release a video in your style, they can't say finish this video because they have the full thing. You get me?
Yeah, and I think you can also compare that to Rob Top too. Like him leading all these things like update 2.2 work in progress, like the picture of the new vehicle, the song hint. He releases Sub Zero and like has all these new 2.2
Oh,
features
he's
and stuff.
timing that terribly.
It just leaves like a trail. And I do some preview stuff, but I kind of do previews like when I'm like actually done and ready to upload. So for example, I'm making this skit if icons could talk 2.1 edition, which you actually feature in, which
Exactly. Yeah.
is gonna be fun, and I'm
Pretty
hoping to
excited for that.
release it in like a few days. I'm not done with it yet, but once I actually finish it, I will set it aside, and then I will like upload like, oh, like coming on like Friday or whatever,
Yeah.
like stay tuned, like,
But
and then
sorry.
it gets the hype going and people are excited for it, and I know I have a definite release date. Like, and
Exactly. Yeah.
Rob Top has actually done that once. I think it was for Meltdown. He released like a trailer or something, and in the description video, whatever, he said coming December 19th, like 2015 or whatever, whenever it was. And so I remember, I think I commented on that video like, "Wow, this is like the first time Rob Top has given us a release date for everything." And it was so nice to have all this hype in the community and then have exactly what was promised delivered on that day,
That's the
and something
thing.
unlike we've ever seen in the community before.
Because
So
you can like if you say, and that's because every time you've ever previewed something, it's happened. Like you say you're gonna say, coming on Friday, and you can promise that coming. Whereas
yeah,
if you
yeah,
say coming soon, it's like, what do you mean by that? And Rob Top, he's when he says soon and that, like, he builds up so much hype and people are talking about it, and then all of a sudden it's just let down. Um, and that's okay. There's a lot of things Rob Top could do better, but it's better with like with what you're doing, because you can give some kind of confidence to the viewer that they are going to get this on a certain time, and the hype, when satisfied, makes them think of you as a better kind of a more trustworthy YouTuber, if that makes sense.
yeah. So that's the other thing, like about kind of what I do is I just like release videos like as a finished product, as you were saying, like the video's all there, and some other people might upload like more like traditional people who are players or creators, they may upload like, oh, like level preview, like they're 20% in, or people beating extreme demons or something, like a progress video, stuff like that. So and a bunch of these people also stream, which I don't do much of because what I do isn't exactly applicable to streaming because it's less on like the gaming side, more on the like video creating side. So because
Yeah,
of that, because of like the streaming aspect and the progress videos and stuff, it just creates this constant like lineage build up, like when is this going to happen, when is this going to happen, when is this going to happen. And for me
yeah,
it's like I lay out like a 5-10 minute skit, 5-10 minute, funny video, and like they can enjoy it, and then it's like on to the next one, so
yeah.
it's very like
I
linear, and I have like a procedure which I follow. So
Yeah, and I think what's pretty it's a good idea is how when people upload a progress video on something, you don't know when it's gonna be, so that's why people keep saying, oh, do this, and people know when you're streaming that it's happening live, so when you're not streaming,
exactly.
they're gonna bug you to start streaming so that it gets done quicker. Whereas with you, if you promise, you can't promise when you're gonna be a level, whereas you can promise when something's gonna be released because you know how long it will take to do that.
Yeah.
Like there's
Yeah, I
no,
know all about that.
yeah,
Yeah.
man. By the way, Dark Street, I think I'm gonna give you like a few minutes to like give your whole say, because I know we've kind of went off on a rant, and
Yeah, Dark, you've been really quiet. I kind of
I
feel
know
bad.
I
Like
feel
there's
bad,
Yeah, no,
but
no,
like I've
I've
expected you to say stuff. Do you know what I mean? So I was like,
yeah, well, mostly I've just let you talk and like focus a little bit on working on a layout.
nice. So
it's
it's
fair
good.
enough. Yeah,
Yeah, it's just so that I just don't sit back in my chair with fucking death in my eyes.
it's fair enough. But
But
do you have any two
I
cents to
usually
throw
don't.
in or whatever? You know?
I don't really have much to say because I like don't really know much about the situation. I mean, ah,
I get what you mean. Like you're not really kind of, you haven't looked into that side of the community or
yeah,
whatever. I
yeah.
get you. That's fine, man.
I mean, the only thing I can really relate to is the you upload a progress video and you can't promise when that's gonna be done, which I know much about because I uploaded my 97% progress on January 3rd,
Yeah.
and I am still not done.
And I like started Bloodbath, and now all I get is when are you gonna stream? When are you gonna stream? And like my fans are, I don't have many, but the ones I do have are very understanding. Do you know what I mean? They'll ask, but they won't demand it.
Yeah,
You know.
I mean that's one thing. Like I'm not known at all. Like I have 81 subscribers. That's nothing, and most of those are. I mean, a lot of those are just my friends, and
Yeah.
so I don't get all of the like, oh, do this, finish this, you hack.
I'm on my way to
So
1K, so like I'm getting starting to get some of that, but I can
yeah,
tell it would start to pick up a little bit.
uh, the the only comments I get on my videos that are about Bloodbath are from Xander
Oh yeah.
because he's joke nagging me about it.
Oh yeah. He's a nice guy. I'm pretty. I haven't talked
Yeah,
to him much, but he seems like a nice guy. You know.
I haven't talked to him in a while, but he's nice.
All right. Anyway, should we? Do you think we've said in like everything to say on that sort of part? Can we move on to?
Yes, I agree. I think we did.
Yeah,
All right. So let's talk about YouTubers like Chris Credible, for example, and ones like that. Chris Credible, his hardest demon's like Cataclysm, right? And he doesn't show many signs of kind of beating hard things. He does, you know, his challenges and that. And his fan base isn't. I mean, obviously you see there are loads of people that will nag him because they don't understand how much effort it takes to beat something and stress it is.
yeah,
Um, but you know, whereas his fan base doesn't tend to like make fun of him for not being a good player. You know, bigger players, and this is I've tried to get into this side of the community because I want to try and be nice and be friends with everyone. I've talked to some of the better player side of the community, and I've been made fun of just for not being very good because people don't tend to perceive what I'm actually trying to do. I'm trying to have fun, and people who are tryhards at the game that just want to do hard things, they
yeah,
just make fun of me because they think that's what I'm doing. And whereas Chris Credible tends to stay over with his content creator friends like Raising and whatnot, and he doesn't get as much like kind of backlash from that side of the community from as that, you know?
yeah. That side of the community, by the way, should die. Like the tryhards that are just like, oh, this fucking this is easy, bloodbath, easy demon, haha, fuck you. I just don't, I don't like them at all.
I mean, there are some people
It's
that are like
really
that,
annoying.
and people that call things easy, I think, are driving people away from the community because there's not enough kind of applause or like praise for doing anything anymore if it's not number one demon, and
Yeah,
that's why I don't think new players stand a chance in this game anymore. Norcda, we previously talked about this as how 2 years ago or so you could beat the new hardest demon on Twitch, and because it was a cool level, you didn't have to be good at it. You just had to play it, and people would you could get 100 viewers or so. You know?
Yeah, I feel like that's true to some degree, but another thing I remember about Twitch like a few years ago is just Rob Top randomly dropping into streams.
Oh yeah, I
And I
remember that.
feel like that was
yeah,
another thing. People were always like, "Oh, like I hope I get Rob Top, guys." Like, "Oh, like I hope someone hosts me." It's like, "Oh my god, like Viperin is here and all this stuff." And there was
Yeah.
someone. I feel like it doesn't happen that much anymore because
No.
like I feel like that was more in like the leading up to an update hype type of scene. But yeah, definitely on Twitch, I just remember like level requests were always number one. It's like Bloodbath, like it could have been like 5%, but it was higher up because it was Bloodbath.
Exactly.
Um,
Two years ago, if I was doing my Bloodbath streams, I would have gotten 100 or 200 views. Now I only get like 10 viewers or so. You know?
yeah.
yeah,
I
I
get
feel
none at
like
all.
I feel like another thing is just because the community has grown so much, there's just so much like now there's a lot more diversity than there was 2 years ago. 2 years ago, even though I was still doing my creative video creating skits, whatever type part of the community, it was so much more like binary player creator. That was like mostly what it was. And now we've seen the emergence of people like Colin and Juniper, as you've said, and countless others who kind of do a similar thing that I do. And I feel like we're kind of like the third like main facet of the community that I wouldn't say gets less attention, but it's because it's so like secular from the game itself. It kind of is. I feel like a bit less like not rewarded, but like recognized, appreciated by the greater community and Rob Top in general.
I understand, and because nobody, as we've talked about last time, it's the same. It's beating hard levels is getting boring now, so that people are getting now bored of easy levels being beaten because they just want anything to, like, people have been pushing limits so much in the game that no one's surprised when limits are pushed anymore. And now nobody cares about anything anymore. Like, that's the thing. People are always just going to demand more, and it's just mad how like it's changed over time. And I hope that the community does develop where they start to look for something new and they find more. They get more into content side of things, like your videos, for example, and more people start doing that because you know I think that could really help out.
Yeah, or I just it's not even that I want to see that part of the community like inflate. It's just kind of I feel like when people first get to the community, they see people who beat hard levels and see people who build great levels,
That fascinates them way more than
and so
yeah.
they're kind of sucked into either or. And I kind of feel like the people like myself could maybe try to attract them to like, oh hey, maybe if I have some screen recording software, a good computer, a good mic, like I can make videos like this instead of either I want to become a really good player or like I want to become a really good creator to like grow on YouTube and have a presence in the community. There's a lot more that can be done, and I feel like I've kind of found that over the past 4 5 years almost. Um,
Exactly,
so,
man.
so yeah, I just think it's not like I feel like this part of the community needs to become more prevalent. It's just like I think that we need to let people know or have more people be open to the idea of not choosing between player or creator. You know what I mean?
Exactly, and players try and dominate the community at this point by calling anything else that isn't being the best uh, bad or whatever like that, or cringy. Cringy's been a word that's been used to describe me and so many other people's contents, um, just because they're not good at the game, and that irritates me. Not I don't care what people say about me, but it's just this is the kind of stuff that's going to drive people away from content, because you've got little kids that go into Sonic's stream and Crazen's streams and all that, and they've got and Meteus's streams, and they're just talking about like, oh, this is bad, and they're so negative about anything that isn't the best level or anything, and little kids are gonna see that and they're not gonna think, they're just gonna want to, you know, they're gonna agree with them on that, and you get what I come from.
Yeah, and I've definitely gotten the cringy stuff, and for me, even I cringe at my own stuff sometimes, but
Oh, I
I
cringe at my own
still
things, man.
yeah, but I still take pride in it, right?
Exactly.
I'm watching my skits from like 3 years ago. I'm like I was in like eighth grade and I was doing all these like
Bro, yeah.
baby voices. Like what was my life at that point? And like I'm still doing similar things like that now. But
Yeah.
I've just come to be like, you know what? This is what I do. It's what I like. It's what people enjoy, and I'm willing to sacrifice some of my dignity if if people enjoy it and if I'm having some fun doing it as well.
Can I just
But yeah,
ask
as
real
you were,
quick? Sorry.
yeah, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna finish up by saying like how you're saying kids, maybe attracted to the big players and streams like that. Um,
Being brought away,
but I
that's
feel
from the
like
stuff that will matter when they get bored of
yeah.
those big players.
But yeah, that's it. So yeah.
Okay, so another point I wanted to move on to is, you don't have to answer this, but how old are you at the moment?
So I'm currently 16 years old, and I joined the community when I was 12. So
I think I joined about that time as well.
yeah,
Because when I was 12, I'm 14 now, so about 2 years ago or something, in like mid 2.0, I joined and I started making these like videos with just like my headset and my no webcam or anything like that, and just just a little computer that I'd use, and it was just where I'd kind of start off with and everything, and I'd rage or can't let go or whatever. And looking back on that, I cringed in that, but over time I noticed that I really made an effort towards the sort of content side of it, and I tried to have as much fun as I could with it, and I think that was kind of a good. I didn't even realize I was doing that, but I just enjoyed doing it. Do you know what I mean? And it kind of I developed myself without even realizing it, and my gut kind of told me to go for the content side. So I picked up a Blue Yeti, I picked up a better camera, I picked up everything I'd need, and I got a new monitor so I could start, just kind of doing things quicker to get better and make more videos. And I think that's kind of paid off for me because I don't think I would have gotten or as being as like I know I haven't gotten far. I've only 800 subs, but like, you know, I definitely don't think I would have been at the level of content I'm at now. Um, I'd just be a good player if I had just focused on gameplay videos, and I think, if eventually when gameplay dies in the community, like unless gameplay that isn't extreme demons don't get views anymore. So I don't think like, but if I do a commentary video and anyone else does a commentary video on an easy demon, it will get views. You get it? You know what I'm saying? So, you know,
Yeah, I definitely understand, and I feel like what you're saying before, like it's so much better to do something like and not force yourself to do something just because you want to see yourself get views or whatever. And a good example of that right now at the moment is I'm going to use A and Air. He like came back a year ago and he was going on this crazy long streak doing all this GD stuff. He uploaded super consistently.
oh, I remember that
He
the
edited his
days with
videos
him
a
and Trusted.
lot and yeah, and he was getting like I would say like consistently 10,000, not 10,000, maybe like 5 to 8,000 views, and he had like 10,000 subscribers or something around there.
Yeah,
Um, and he was doing that, and he was like having so much fun with the game. And just recently, he's completely changed course, and his views obviously have dropped so much, but
yeah,
he's not forcing himself to stay with the game, and it's really mature to do that when you've built up this following. And I definitely commend him for doing that. And
exactly.
it just like it shows who you are as a person if you're sticking around in the community because you've built a following because you and like if you don't enjoy it anymore but you still like you don't want to go back on the progress you've achieved or whatever. And I can say for myself confidently that I have not had that experience where I just kind of want to stay because of my growth. Sorry about the phone.
Agree.
But basically, um, I think like there have been times been kind of burnt out, or like not necessarily burnt out, but just a bit bored of the bit like I'm still doing this, like why am I still here? And in those
Exactly.
moments, I didn't
So
drop everything and quit. I kind of just like, um, I don't know, either like gave it some time or tried something new. Um, you can see like a huge change from my first GD videos until the ones I make now.
Oh, definitely.
Just because I've experimented a bit, and I think going back to Aeon, like what he did, I think super mature as I said, and it just goes to show you that like if you if you truly aren't having fun, like your videos will suffer because of it, and just do what you enjoy. And so what you were saying about how that kind of helped you
yeah,
grow as a person, you said, and your channel, that's like also really mature and good decision on your part. So
yeah. If you're not enjoying what you're doing, then like your viewers aren't gonna enjoy it either. Even if
Exactly.
it's what they want, like make this for us. I mean, you need to have passion for what you make. Like I'm I'm trying to get back into making normal videos. Like mostly I just upload GD stuff because I mean that's fun for me, and
Yeah,
I enjoy doing it. But I want to sit down and spend time on editing something that I can be proud of, because I was it's been a long time.
I try and improve
Like
every video, so I've always something to be more proud of each time. Because I don't really
yeah,
tend to make a video and then edit it and not be happy with it, and then up like I won't, It's just
Yeah, the latest thing I made that I'm really, really proud of was back in like December. I edited the second part of I'm making a Super Metroid Let's Play, but it's all in Swedish, so it doesn't get any views at all. So like I would I would love to make something that I'm really proud of that like blows up, that people notice, that people enjoy, and that I enjoy making. That's my dream right now.
okay. So take a look at any game community and take a look at it years ago. So Geometry Dash years ago, it was about the integrity. It was about bringing new things and new ideas and being creative. Nowadays, most of it is just about hype, being the best, and feeding off of trends. Right? Same with,
Yep.
say, a big community was the Minecraft community. You can see that back then it was about, oh cool, somebody built this and people are having fun playing a new mini game. Nowadays it's like, oh my god, I found Demata Casita in Minecraft, right? And
Yeah.
because the fan base obviously is dropped in age, so it's more like that with both communities. But think about it this way: remember when Eric from Wilderman kept doing Easy Demons for a year, and you could tell he wasn't really enjoying them as much until he started increasing his difficulty and getting better, and
Yep.
his content got a little bit boring, just because it was a bit repetitive. It was an easy demon each time, and same with, like, Minecraft YouTubers and all that have been doing that for years. They just kept with it and they forced themselves to do it, and that net nobody Sky does Minecraft. Adam, he's suffered so much from the game, and then when he quit, he's a better person from it. You get what I mean? And
Yep.
I think it's good that people can make that decision to quit, because it really does affect them. Speaking of, I just want to mention Trusta. For anyone wondering, he's doing all right. He said he might return to YouTube soon. I talked to him on his private Snapchat. Like, that's how, like, we talk.
Shit.
But
You're a cool one.
no, but it was just he gave it to me ages ago, and we just kind of started talking on that. But
Yeah, I've talked to him a little bit,
he's a really
just
nice guy.
writing to him on Discord. But it's yeah, yes. It's been a while since we had a conversation.
Yeah, man. Um, what would you say about that, Norcda?
Um, yeah, no. So like what we were saying before, like it's just a good decision to either stop what you're doing or change it up if you're not enjoying it, because your views will suffer, like your channel or like whatever platform you're on will suffer, and your like health will also suffer too if you're constantly just doing all this stuff that you don't really feel passionate about. It's gonna end up
It's gonna be
hurting
a
you in the long run.
it's gonna be a boring job that you do because you need to, and not because you want to.
And this is, like, I think is a great way to look at it, is how people think, oh, YouTube's a great job, you get to have fun and that. But if you're not enjoying what you're doing, then you're not going to enjoy any of it, and it's just like working in an office in a tedious job that you don't like, and people don't seem to see that. People think YouTubers are being ungrateful if they don't enjoy it or whatever, because they're making money for sitting around. But it's just as if they're doing office work. They're not enjoying it either way. You get me? And
Yeah,
people are too
and
afraid.
like
Sorry.
even though it's not like a full-time job for me, I still definitely get that, because there's so much creation behind the scenes, and that's why like a lot of times bigger YouTubers will like hire an editor, and people are like, "What are you doing? Like, why are you hiring an editor?" But it's just because it takes a lot more
Oh,
time than I feel like people think. Like they
people
just
don't
see a
understand how
video and it's
much
like,
time I have to spend editing videos.
yeah, and like here's a video and like there it is. But some YouTubers do research in the background. They shoot
Yeah,
stand-ups
man.
with themselves in front of like a green screen, and that they could have multiple takes and stuff. They do voiceovers. They do stuff in post, like After Effects, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's so much like a production. It really is like you are managing your own
And
television or
if
movie
you
shoot or
spend,
something every time you create a video. So
say if you have an hour recording or something when you're trying to beat a level or something, and you've to even, like, find out where your fails and stuff like that are, you've got to skim through an hour of content. Is like, and that's
yeah,
even just if you're not going to put any effort into editing it, barely just skimming through and finding it. and that'll take you a long time. Still, even as basic as that, and trying to make a let play and a commentary and all that, it's like and or a
Oh
skit,
boy, that takes a long
a
time.
skit even, which Norcda is. I absolutely have mad respect for the amount of editing you've to do. That's dedication. Like, do you know what I mean?
Even doing a lazy let's play like I did back in the day, just record minor editing and then just put it out there because I used to be a lazy prick. That still takes quite a bit of time.
I
I
know.
mean, obviously not as much time as putting time and effort into it to like editing a like 1 or 2 hour clip down to like 10 20 minutes. That's a lot of effort. That's a lot of things that you're gonna have to look through and decide what you want in the video and what you're happy with. And it's just it's just a lot of work, and I don't think a lot of people understand how much it is.
Exactly. It's easier to watch than it is to like do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Northa, how long would you spend on a 5 to 10 minute skit? Would you say?
Well, so from the very beginning, like conceiving the idea, I don't know exactly like if that counts. I guess because I don't like just sit
Oh,
and like
everything
brainstorm
counts.
or
That's
in like a dark room and like
oh yeah, of
let my mind
course.
think. Like just like ideas like come to me, so I really wouldn't like consider that part of the production. But no, like I write a script for it and edit how I think it's gonna play out. What different characters say, maybe like and try to make it like grammatically correct with like correct pronouns and all this, grammatical stuff as well. And then like since I just use stuff in the character select window, I don't really like do that much recording. But if there are features, if there are parts of it where it's like playing a level or whatever, that's part of it as well. Doing
Yeah,
all the voices, all the effects, audio, whatever. So I think overall it could very well be like um, I don't know, like 12 hours per video, like over
damn,
if like
that's
That's
insane.
pretty crazy.
broken up over a period of like a week, 2 weeks if I really spread it out.
It's
But
amazing.
yeah,
Speaking
Same.
of like
Sorry.
content creators and like doing what they want to do and not doing what their viewers demand, like CSX42, who made the Meat series, like he didn't want to play GD anymore, so he just stopped and focused on making music, and that's going really well for him, which is I'm very happy for him for that. But that's just an example of like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore, and you know, instead of continuing because his viewers wanted to, he just stopped, and of course his views and stuff tanked because of that, because people watch him for the meat series, like, oh, interviewing big GD YouTubers, wow. So I don't know where I'm going with this. It just had to
Oh,
it
I
had
get
to
you.
do with
Yeah,
the topic.
and I think going
Anyway,
back to
like he's thinking about playing GD casually, like after all this time, but he's afraid to start doing it because of the community,
once you get
which
into it, you
is
can't get out without a fight. Do you know what I mean? And like,
yeah, no,
I
I don't think stop I I don't think him stopping playing like uh, I don't think that's gonna be a problem for him. It's just that if people see it, they're gonna be like, "Oh, you play GD again? Can you do this and this and this?" And interview this guy and it's. I think he's just afraid of having to deal with that.
like do what Skyjacks or Cyclic did. Just kill your name off. Try and kill your name off. Skyjacks just went quiet and didn't
Yeah,
talk about being back or quitting. Just went quiet and deleted his channel.
yeah. Now he's having fun playing Fortnite.
Yeah, he's a bit of a. Okay, I won't make any comment about how he is to me, but that's whatever. As well, I think if I were to ever stop doing GD, which if I do, it'll definitely be for music because, like you said, Norcda, I write lyrics. I don't sit down and brainstorm. I get inspiration from what I see around me, and then I'll write it down. You get me? But
Yeah,
if
same here. If I'm gonna stop uh, content creating, it's also gonna be for music, although not lyrical music, because I'm
yeah,
very bad at that.
that's all right, man. Um, I think though I will just kind of do less and less GD until, you know, I just kind of die down and move on to other things. And I think, do you like Norcda want to move on to like, what do you want to do as your job like when you're older? Would you like to do something with film or script writing or writing?
Um, I'm thinking of like something in communications maybe. I don't exactly know what that will come in the form of yet,
Exactly.
but in terms of like what I'm going to do on YouTube, I'm thinking of moving more away from gaming and into more either live action stuff, like maybe not vlogging, but some
Skits
type
or
of
something?
Live action
thing with
skits.
my, yeah, like, well, I don't know, but something
Yeah.
with like with me outside of the gaming world. I don't know what that'll be yet. That'll be in the far future, but it is a plan in my head right now. But
It's
but
awesome.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
do you think there's anything else to cover?
Um, I don't know. Do you have if you have any more questions or any more final thoughts or whatever?
Uh, I mean, what do you think has kept you going most through your kind of journey on YouTube, I guess?
So yeah, I guess like I mean, definitely a lot of support from not only my fans but my family especially, and
Do your
the
family
amount
like
of
your
my
channel?
friends. Oh, yeah, no, they're
Wow.
really supportive of the whole thing. Really,
Awesome.
like proud of me, I guess, and like excited to see what I make, even though like it is kind of weird also
Yeah.
at some points because like even my like grandparents ask me about my channel and they sometimes like watch my videos and like I'm like I've really got to I guess like uphold my like family reputation, but no, but in the end they really are supportive and stuff.
It's
And
awesome.
then even a lot of people in school, like my friends or even just like people I don't know, they're always like, "Oh, how's the channel doing?" and stuff. So it's kind of like I'm like the YouTube guy, and even though some
Yeah.
people have like made fun of me for it over
Oh,
the
of course, man.
years,
That happens to me a
just
lot.
like even in my whole like local community, my circles, my family, everything, they're really supportive. In addition to the fans online, so that's something that's been really keeping me going. Is a lot of people are like eager to hear about it, excited to see me progress and whatever. But then also, as I've said, I've still enjoyed making videos and seeing the reactions and doing all that stuff. So if I didn't enjoy it, still be here. So that's kind
Yeah.
of like the golden rule, I guess. But yeah,
I
I'm still having fun with it, and until I don't have fun with it, I will be sticking around making more stuff. So
awesome. My
yeah,
family actually like supports it as well, and they know about it. My dad is like he loves my content. It's weird, but like he loves a
good,
lot of it, and I get a
good.
lot of shit from people in school, obviously, just because I don't tend to follow the crowd and just kind of like do my own thing. And it's not normal to have a channel where you play a game or you're yourself, you know. So I mean, it is a struggle to get past that. But once you get that to that mentality where it is what it is, you're smooth sailing, you know.
Yeah. My family also watches my videos, um, and I think probably the reason why my drumming videos, two of them, get so many views is because like they share it around with people they know.
Mm. I a few years ago or about a year ago, I did a diss track on Jake Paul when just for a meme, right? My dad helped me make that, right? And he sent it around to everyone, right? And it got like 2,000 views or something like that. And I only had like 200 subs at the time, so that was amazing for me. Like I was really happy about that and all. But like, North, do you remember who I just told you was like downstairs?
Yeah.
I even
In your like house,
yeah,
apartment, whatever,
it's a house.
residence.
It's my house, yeah. And
Yeah.
you know, he loves it. He loves my stuff, my rap, my music, and everything. I've actually recorded something inside, and I'll get it out soon. But yeah, it's like a share from him on Facebook or whatever. It'll it do worlds for me. Do you know what I mean? So
Exactly. You gotta like well, not exactly have those resources, but be able to try to reach out to people
Of course,
and
yeah. I'll,
and kind of like not necessarily like fanboy over people like bigger than
oh,
you,
of
but kind of
course.
talk to them and kind of see exactly what what they may be open to do to like help you or work with you or whatever.
Like,
If you approach someone in a way that's not like OMG, I'm like your biggest fan. Like, can we be friends and talk more about like stuff you want to do and
Our Lord and
they
Savior
want to do the
Jesus
same thing.
Christ.
Exactly,
that's
exactly. First
what I
and
did with
foremost.
you, Norcda. Like, I just kind of I worked with you with the thing. It was like grand, and then I brought up the podcast, and here we are. We're just we
Yeah,
just
exactly, exactly.
relaxing, talking, and
To all you small creators out there, don't be afraid to swim with the bigger fish, but
try
don't
and
like
don't feed off them.
like
Don't look for anything off them.
people kind of like everyone always sees like I'm your biggest fan. Can we be friends? If you kind of
Exactly.
want to work together or talk about like advice about creation or something that kind of attracts people in, at least my opinion is that it does, and like makes them more encouraged to want to like talk to you, respond to you, help you, whatever that may be. So but yeah,
What
we need more creators out there who do good things. So
and thing is, like, I look forward to working with you again. Hopefully, but I think that fanboying isn't gonna get you anywhere, and I want to let people know this is because when I see when I want to talk to a creator and I want to kind of work with them or whatever, like this is kind of how I approached it and all of that, and we're just kind of mutual respect. That's what you're looking for. You're not looking for I am going to bow down on my knees to you and hope that you give me something back. That's not what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have a talk to you. Do you know what I mean? And we're gonna
That's just
come
not
to
a good approach in any
exactly.
way,
We're gonna.
to
I
be
went to
honest.
you and I looked for a deal or whatever and what we do, and now we're it's like mutual respect. That's the kind of way I work with people.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Anyway, I think that's all. It's been 52 minutes, so yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks
it's
for
been
watching,
good.
everyone. Go and subscribe to all of us. You've probably subscribed to Norcda. That's why you're here from this video. If
Yeah.
but me and Dark Sweet go and sub to us. Links in the description.
Oh,
Um,
please give me attention.
nah, but for real. Thanks for coming on, Norcda. I really enjoyed the episode.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was really fun stuff. Got to hear your perspective and share my perspective and yeah. So
I look
overall,
forward to
very enjoyable, enlightening experience. So
Oh, it's fun. It was fun talking to you, man.
we got to
yeah,
do a
me too,
race
me
in the
too.
future if you want, because I was thinking of starting races with people. I had a
I'm
Yeah,
down.
and darks. Hopefully your layout went well also.
Oh yeah.
So.
oh yeah.
I stopped it a while ago to start playing Butterfly Effect, which I got 89 while we were talking.
Oh, nice man.
Um, but yeah, it's going pretty well. I sent uh my latest in this chat if you want to check it out.
Awesome. I'll
Pretty
check that out
proud of
after
it.
the stream. But yeah,
Nice.
thanks for watching, everyone, and see you
Thanks for
guys
watching, guys.
next time. Goodbye.